I know many of you might not know what no-till is, but that's why I'm here today. I would like to teach you some about no-till. I hope that you guys take some valuable knowledge away from this presentation. No-till farming is also defined as zero tillage. For those of you who don't know that, no-till farming is a system of planting crops, and it's only opening a seed bed wide enough or sufficient enough for the seed to be planted in. No-till was first believed to be used in ancient times by the Incas and the Egyptians because they didn't have enough manpower to till up all of the land. I have some facts for you. A survey by the NRCS stated that Iowa ranks second in the nation behind Illinois with the most no-till acres. Iowa has roughly 24 million acres of no-till, or 24 million acres of farmland, and out of that, 5.17 million are no-till, which is just a little under 5%. Here are some of the benefits I will be talking about in the upcoming slides. Reduced erosion, less cost, saves time, builds organic matter, conserves moisture, and less air pollution. I'll start off with a little fun fact, though, for you guys. Just imagine that if we had to replace all of the soil nutrients and all that was washed out to sea by our rivers each year, it would cost us roughly $1 billion. I'll start off with erosion. Wind and soil erosion are some of the major factors that happen when you plow your ground. There isn't any part of the plant remaining left to hold the soil in place. So when it rains, all the soil just gets washed away. And also, since you do have that plant remaining, some of the soil, or when it rains, it doesn't hit the soil directly. Instead, it hits the plant, also reducing some of the erosion. And I have a picture for you guys. I'm from Wright County, so if you see right there, the arrow is pointing to Wright County. 2 years ago, we had a really big flood, and this is just a graph showing the tons of acres that was lost during that flood, and that's just a one day. The next factor is less cost. When you're tilling your ground, you're not having to use that extra amount of fees. You don't have to spend that extra money filling up your tractor every time you're out there using it to plow the ground. You also don't have to repair anything if something breaks. And also, you don't have to worry about when every year most farmers they look at their equipment to make sure that it's working properly and stuff. You don't have to spend that extra amount of money to bring it into like a dealership to have them do it for you instead. And remember, money doesn't grow on trees. Saves a lot of time with no-till. You don't have to grease up your equipment all the time. All that labor is just unneeded. For example, you can just focus on getting the planter ready to go out in the field. You don't have to worry about making sure it doesn't rain or something, because then you got to plow up the ground first, but you have to wait for it to dry. With no-till, you have a lot of organic matter. When you're not tilling your soil, it helps to build that organic matter in your soil. The earthworms help to increase your soil quality, and they make the air holes so that the plants can grow better. You also have improved soil tilth, which is what farmers consider the ideal soil. It means that it's 50% soil and 50% pore space, with water and air equally distributed throughout that pore space. And also, the more you drive on your soil, the more compacted it gets, also ruining that soil tilth. With no-till, you're conserving moisture, and with this year, I know that has been a really major factor. I haven't got much rain, so it's better to keep that moisture in the ground. And since you're not tilling up that soil, the moisture isn't getting evaporated into the air, it stays in the ground. It's not getting evaporated quite as quickly. And like I said, since the corn stalks are still there, it doesn't allow the rain to flow out of your field. It gets soaked up better. No-till helps to reduce the release of carbon gases and air pollution. A study by Purdue University in 2011 stated that no-till helped to release far smaller amounts of potent greenhouse gases into the air than conventional farming, which suggests that no-till may actually help combat global warming. There are, of course, some advantages to tillage. I will talk about them briefly. Even though tillage does kill the weeds, instead of spending that extra money to plow up your soil, you can just spend a little extra money on herbicide instead, and it'll do almost the same thing. Tillage does give you that better seed bed, but there are some things that farmers use in no-till, such as strip till. You do get the drier soil, but you are also taking the risk there. With some years you have the better soil, and then with other years you have the drier or wetter soil, so it's 50-50. And then the faster residue breakdown, but on no-till you actually want the residue there to help you, so it's kind of personal choice right there. In conclusion, I hope you guys took some valuable knowledge away from this presentation. I hope that next time you're driving out there in the field, or driving out in the roads and stuff, just take a second to look at the fields. See if the farmer is doing no-till or if he's using the conventional farming, and just think about some of those benefits that he has. I would like to thank the credits. I have Google Images, Egg PhD, the USDA websites, the Iowa State website, an informational no-till website, and finally a website about erosion. Are there any questions? The question was, is it becoming more popular in these next few years, or is it kind of waning again? I think more farmers are starting to try it out, but I don't think there are some farmers that don't realize exactly what no-till means. Some of them are they think they're not tilling their ground, but really they're doing something called vertical tillage, and that's not pure 100% no-till. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Strip till? We have strip till is basically, we have an implement, and it's basically we're putting on an hydrous, except it's a Don Plurbus unit, and we're putting on something called 32%, and it's opening a slot of land about this big, which is basically sufficient enough to put in that seed. I have not done a yield comparison. I know there's probably some sites on the internet that would show you the yield comparisons, but we've been no-till all the time, so I guess it wasn't really an option. Yes.